go ahead. Let's start it off right.
This conversation originated from this talk right here originated from the conversation we were having about all the great albums that came out in 2018, and it's a lot, right? So you said that mumble rap saved hip hop.
Absolutely.
Now, on a broad surface, that statement could sound crazy, like just blasphemous, disrespectful. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But when you think about it,
it did.
It did.
So yeah, with that being said, I posted something on Facebook, mumble rap saved hip hop, and people took it literal. And whenever I make a post, please don't take it literal, because very rarely is it literal. I was just saying, the re-emergence of real hip hop is a direct result of mumble rap. And what I mean by that is, over the last year and a half, let's count the albums. Forgive me, I can't name them all, but Jay-Z dropped.
Yep.
Jay-Z dropped with Beyonce. Kendrick Lamar dropped. Cardi B dropped. Nas dropped.
Nipsey Hussle.
J-Rock.
Pusha
T. Black Thought. Planet Asia dropped the ill album. Cambada on Underground.
Lupe just dropped.
The Twins dropped a joint. A.A. Rashid dropped something. Lil Wayne dropped something. Yep. Nicki Minaj dropped something. Drake dropped something. Rick Ross dropped something. The list goes on, and forgive me, there are probably a few that we didn't get in there, but the point I'm trying to make is, prior to that, and then none of those are mumble rappers. You understand? So we have to get out of the mindset that only positive things can affect change. Negativity can affect change, or what is perceived.
That's usually what affects change anyway, right?
Anyway, so I did a piece, and we'll put it at the end of this video here, called The Science of Mumble Rap. And I got a lot of backlash from it, because people are not opening up their minds enough to understand the concepts. I never said I loved, liked, or supported. I was simply giving you my observation of what mumble rap is and its significance and what brought it about. You know what I mean? So, with that being said, we have to just understand that so-called low point, to me, ignited, inspired all of the traditional artists. J. Cole, let's not forget J. Cole dropped. Yeah. So it inspired the traditional artists to come back, but not come back under the same, because rap was stale.
Yeah.
Rap was getting stagnant, believe it or not. You know what I mean? Everybody using the same stuff. We have now allowed ourselves to steal some of the sonic sounds of the mumble rappers, along with original rap on it, and it has moved the culture, in my humble opinion, forward. Now, there are those who think everything should be produced by Pete Rock. Now, I love Pete Rock and DJ Premier, and I'm from the boom bap era and understand its significance. But how do we move forward? And my man RP Beats dropped a dope album. I meant to mention him. I did a dope review on urbanx.nyc on RP Beats. My man Sinful to God. They, you know what I'm saying, they really put together what I feel is a classic project. So, with that being said, we have now adopted some of the sonic, auto-tune sounds that were made famous by mumble rappers, and added traditional rap on top of it. And to me,
T.I. just dropped a fire album.
Okay, so you see what I'm saying? I didn't get my hands on it yet.
Fire.
So now we understand, for every action there is a reaction. And the mumble rap era signified the lowest point for some. To me, it just signified change. And I wrote that, in my written word at urbanx.nyc, and on the video that I put up. It represents change. If this is the lowest point, then what's going to come out of that? And this year, 2018 / a piece of 2017, is probably the greatest selection of albums that have come out in 25 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for my historians out there, let's keep it a buck.
Yeah.
everybody struck. You know what I mean?
Right.
And everybody Kid Cudi. Everybody came forward and delivered what they felt was going to be the saving grace of the culture, so to speak. Right? Everybody came and added their piece, and the winners were us, the audience, because we got to see a myriad of things. We had some drama in there, we had some battles in there, we had some experiment with 7-song albums in there, we had some double albums in there, we had a bit of everything. But musically, if you are a fan of the culture, you should not be complaining at this present time, unless you're a nitpicker.
Yeah.
Nitpick on this, and nothing is ever all positive. Our universe is not just positive; it's negative, positive.
Or perceived.
It's said or perceived
negative. Yeah.
Perceived negative, because T.I. has got the trap house. We're gonna talk about that tonight on our podcast. They got a trap house out there, and I'm gonna give some details about that's their interpretation of the culture, and based on where you lived on the timeline. Your interpretation of the culture and how the energy hit you was just different. I'm from Cedar Park, the Boogie Down Bronx, so my interpretation permeates from that view. You know what I mean? But if you was in the South or in Toronto or in Chicago or in Cali, the interpretation that brought about your ability to express yourself was different. You know what I mean? So we have to understand these concepts and these principles, and again, mumble rap. Again, we have to allow the youth to have a say so in where the culture goes. We were youth at one time, bringing out turntables and crates of records and 2 copies of the records, covering the labels, stealing electricity from the light, and it was so off base from what had came before that we looked crazy. Right? These youth they're growing up in a digital era. They're growing up in a quantum era where the way they process information and music and their ability to create sound is different than ours. So while we may not agree with all of it, please allow the youth, I'm speaking to the elders now, the ones who think nothing beyond boom bap was ever creative. Get the fuck out of here with that. You know what I mean? All of it is creative. All of it is spiritual. All of it is unique in its own right. Now, is it all positive? No, but we didn't all have positive music. Stop the bullshit. All right? We smoked dust, sniffed cocaine, and talked about robbing people just like what's going on now, just on a whole different level now, because the times and the environment has changed, forcing the music to take on a different vibration. But if you are there and you can understand the underlying spiritual significance of what's going on, it's all our music.
I just find it interesting when rappers, not because I'm old enough to see rappers like 50 Cent be young and like Nelly be young, and then now they're fathers. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. So you caught them on the cusp to now, right?
And I remember Nelly going at it with KRS-One.
Right.
And he was calling him the old guy. You know what I mean? And then now Nelly is an old guy. He would be considered an old guy. He would
be considered an old guy if he went at some of these young guys.
Right.
Right? So that just goes to show you how to cycle.
Or Cannabis at LL. Like that was the
Cannabis
thing too.
at LL. The changing of the guards. Here come this new energy, Cannabis coming in with his style and his bars, and his LL sitting on the throne basically, saying, who's this youngster?
Right.
Challenging my authority, but LL had to challenge Kumo D's authority.
See?
As LL Kumo D sat on the throne, and LL said, no, hand that over, old dude. It's my time now. So we have to allow our youth. Now, as we spoke about in one of our Patreon classes, we got 5 classes up now.
5 classes.
All right, and you'll get more of the classes on how there's a disconnect between the elders and the young people, and there should not be a disconnect. Right?
Right.
It should be, because in white people's culture, everything is one.
But would you say that's because hip hop is young compared to rock and roll?
Hip hop is 45 years old now.
But compared to rock,
No, I think it has more to do with us us being hardwired not to support each other from slave times.
Okay.
You know, we don't have a general support for each other the way we should.
Okay.
It's 45 years old now, so that means the teenagers who were doing it then are 60, 65 years old. They need health insurance, right? They got grandbabies now, and the vibration in which the youth are manifesting their music. And remember, we were using more tangible devices. Everything now is digital, so they can create songs without leaving their bedrooms.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think because of the notoriety and the money that they're receiving, a lot of the elders of the culture are jealous.
I think it's the jealousy, and you like a lot of these statements we hear, Tupac is overrated. That is a direct result of older rappers just not respecting younger rappers. So they say, you know what, I'm gonna say this to piss him off. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And then what that does is that gets the older school riled up, and who are these people? Who are they to say that?
You don't know who I am. I laid the foundation for you.
Right.
It goes on.
And then that's a never-ending battle.
And that's a never-ending battle. But I propose that every new school rapper should do a song with an old school rapper. Not a whole album. Right. Not a whole mixtape. Drake should be doing a song with Big Daddy Kane, because he is our version of Big Daddy Kane. Big Daddy Kane better lyricist, but that's okay. You know what I mean? And each of these artists should find a counterpart or an elder who becomes like almost like a mentor. We just bridge the gap, because now the old school dudes are like, all right, I see you rocking with the youngsters. The young school audience will go, who is Kumo D?
Exactly.
Wow, let me go, because we're in the age of information, and go see what he did.
Right.
Yo. And not only that, it bridges the conversation between you and your children. You know what I'm saying? See, because Marcus is 32, so he's a different era of hip hop. You're 25, and Eli's 18, and my daughter's 16. So I gotta be down with Drake and Lil Yachty, up into you who fell in love with Eazy-E, and that was your era, coming up to Marcus, who was P. Diddy, and you know what I'm saying, his era. And so my conversation is always broader as a parent, and also not a historian of the culture, but I'm in the hip hop culture heavy. So and I think it bridges those gaps, and these conversations need to be had. And if you're sitting on $150 million and the old school rapper ain't even got health insurance, you should be embarrassed. Like, you mean you can't piece off, like, yo, I may not have a lot, but I'm gonna make sure you have health insurance. You need a job, you know what I mean? So you can take care of your family, so you can impart some of the wisdom of what was going on during your day. That's how we pull each other up.
Right.
Even in R&B always honor each other. Stevie Wonder is connected to the R&B artists. It's hip hop, which the premise of hip hop is supposed to be competitive.
Competition, right.
But we didn't all have competition.
Right.
You know, we went to the jams and we just partied sometime too, and it was more of a unified front. So don't let that premise of this is competition means I gotta cut you off at all angles and fuck you, old nigga, you don't know what it is. Because there's only one story being told. And you young guys are telling a continued story that the elders that came before you laid down, and their elders before them, right? So it's only one story. We can chop it up as many ways, because this shit goes back to bebop, scat, the gospel, the church. This shit is one, blues. All of this is one story and different vibrations and paradigm shifts that come about, which brings about a different vibration or frequency of the music, but it's one story being told. So I respect mumble rap, right? I understand what they were doing based on the environment and their high all the time, and they have a feeling that needs to be expressed, and because they're dealing in real time. I speak about that in the article. Creating simultaneously in real time. Most guys are writing stuff down, rehearsing it, practicing how they're gonna say it, this and that, you know, and even before that, you know what they do? They mumble it, because they're trying to get a pattern or a cadence to the beat that they're listening to. So they may not have the words first. Sure. Then they get home and they fill the words in. English is not our language, right? So stop patting yourself on the back because you can rap in fucking English, right? Like that's some superior shit, right? what these young people are doing are going into the booth in real time, sipping on whatever they want to do, removing themselves from this third dimensional paradigm space. And whatever comes down into their vessel is what the fuck gets recorded in real time. And they go, that's a take. Those who are on the same frequency and vibration click to it immediately because they're on the same. Those of us who are not on that frequency don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about.
Yeah, that's why concerts of that. I speak about this all the time. I even wrote an article about it. But that's why concerts are so big now.
Absolutely, because everybody is high,
right, or
drunk, having a great time,
and the beats, like, you just kind of,
and the music moves you to a whole nother level.
There's been songs
it's magic.
Like I hear in the car, I'm like, this is trash, and then I hear it at a club, and I'm like, yo, this is
right after a few shots of Hennessy.
Right. Oh, this is loud.
And I also speak about if you get to the party late, right? And everybody seems to be talking very goddamn loud. It's because they are all on the same frequency already. You just showed up to the party. This shit sounds like noise to you until you get a few shots of Henny, you know what I'm saying? Now you have acclimated and blended in, and now you're the one that's loud, right? So that's the way music works in a sense. If you're not on that frequency, then you don't understand. And if you're 50 and over like myself, it's not for you. Let's just keep that clear. This is their magic. Doesn't mean we can't appreciate something that I hear, because Quincy Jones stayed abreast of all of it. Right? So, not saying you can't, get involved, but it's not your music from the alchemical process, the creative process. It's not your music. The ownership belongs to those who envision, to those who feel it, to those who can manifest it. It's their time. Let it be their time. You know what I mean? So don't look down. I don't know what the fuck reggae songs are talking about.
Right.
I don't know what the fuck them reggae, what they're saying, but I can feel the music. I can feel the cadence. I can feel, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know the words. So let's not get trippy off. They're mumbling his words. Since when that shit ain't matter to James Brown? That shit ain't matter to Busta Rhymes on some of his joints. You know, if it's dope, it's dope. Right? So it is my humble opinion that the perceived low point of the emergence of mumble rap led to artists going back into the booth and correcting, or, you know what I mean, the next paradigm
sharp pens,
with sharp ass pens to drown out what they thought was the end of their culture, or the end, you see what I'm saying? So it created a fight or flight situation, in my humble opinion, when niggas went, their pens was like, fuck that shit. And I have to bring an offering forward that corrects, you know what I'm saying, what was perceived as a mistake, but there are no mistakes. Mumble rap needed to be here. It needed to show up in the capacity that it did. Even them dudes wearing dresses needed to show up so we can bring attention to, like, whoa, that's too far. Because if you don't say no, it's like saying yes. I'm talking about the gatekeepers, the ones behind the curtain will keep pushing, and we decided to stamp out certain aspects of this, and now we need to get control behind the scenes more from a creative standpoint so that we can steer the next generation where they need to go. But that time in history is going to be 2016, 2015, 2014, when mumble rap came in to put you niggas up against the wall and say, this will not be tolerated. And as a result, mumble rap has dissipated.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They still have their own little audience here and there, but they go back into a compartment of a happening that took place within our culture that now, for those who want to reference it, it's there for you.
Right.
If not, we get back to putting out this great magical music. So mumble rap saved hip hop. This is the Black Dot. These are my chronicles. This is my story, and I'm sticking to it. Make sure you sign up for that Patreon. You know what I'm saying? So we can keep this thing going. Peace.